Welcome back. In this video, we will prototype a platformer game. So I'm looking at my layout right here, and I can hold down Control and use the mouse wheel to zoom out. And I see this is my entire level right here. This dotted line right here represents the amount of my game that will be on screen at one time. So let's go ahead and get started. When I say we're going to prototype this, we're going to start making a game that's functional. It might not be pretty. We'll go back and we'll upgrade our artwork later and we'll make it look nice. So the first thing that I want to do is create my character. My character is going to be a game object called a sprite. So in order for me to add a sprite to the game, I can simply right click right here on the layout and say insert a new object. Up here I want to search for the type of object that I want, so I want a sprite. And then right here it asks what do I want to name this. Now right here it says sprite 2 because I accidentally added a sprite earlier. But I don't ever want my sprites to be called sprite. I want to actually name them. This is going to be my player, so I'm going to call it the player. And we want to be specific about our naming here. Now my cursor has turned into this cross, and this is asking where do I initially want to put my sprite. This doesn't matter so much because we will be moving it around later. I'm just going to click here. Now, at this point, I'm just going to make a very, very basic sprite. Here is a head and a body and some legs and some arms. And that can be it. Now, right here, I do have this border, and that's going to affect collision, so I want to trim that down. So I'm going to click this crop button to automatically crop it down. Right here, this is the image points button, and what this is going to do is allow me to adjust the origin. I'm going to adjust the origin of my character to be right there. And you want that's going to be the spot that the character rotates around, as well as where it gets spawned from later on when we start talking about spawning. Now this piece feels a little bit unnatural, feels like I should save it or something, but actually I'm just going to click the X. Now, having my character here, I'm going to push play to test it. And you see there's my character. Now at this point, my game doesn't do anything. He just sits there. But I do notice that he's taking up a lot of the screen. I'd like him to take up less of the screen. So I'm going to resize it. The next thing that I'm going to need for platformer is for my player to have something to land on. So again, I'm going to right click and insert a new object. This is going to be a sprite just like the other one, but I'm going to call this sprite ground. Right there. And like I said earlier, we're going to adjust our artwork later, so don't spend a lot of effort at this point trying to make this look nice. I'm just going to make a blue block that my character can land on, and then I can close it. And I can resize this to be the platform of my choosing. Okay, so now I've got the start of a platformer. In order to make my character behave like a platformer character, I need to add a behavior. So right here, I'll click add a behavior, and the behavior that I want on my character is called platform. You see the little picture right there that almost looks exactly like our game. Okay, so this is going to add gravity, and it's going to add left and right movement as well as jumping. So I'm going to go ahead and push play, and we see that gravity is working, but my platform right here, my ground, is not working. So that's because right now I just passed through it. I need to add a behavior to the ground as well, because I want the ground to be solid. So now that the ground is solid, if I click play, my character lands on it. If I press the right arrow, I move right. If I press the left arrow, I move left. If I press the up arrow, I jump. And that's a really nice basic platformer. I can jump off and fall to my death too. So this is a very basic level, and I'd like to prototype it a little bit more. So what I'm going to do is grab the ground out of the object types menu, and I can just drag another ground onto here. So this is called creating another instance of the object. So even though I grabbed it and dragged it in, if I go and jump over here, you see that this is still solid. So when I instantiate a new object, it still has all of the properties of the previous object that I made. So I can start dragging this out and making my level. So now when I play, I can jump here, and then trying to get to that one down there, you can see I'm on it. But now this is awkward because I've left the screen. So in order to make the camera follow my player, I'm going to go ahead, select the player, and go down to behaviors, and I want to say that I want to add another behavior. This other behavior is called scroll to. And the scroll to behavior just makes the camera follow whatever object you've attached it to. So now that I jump, you see the camera's going to start following me, and I can start creating my level. So I can go through here and I can start adding in more ground, making the level as I see fit. One other thing that I wanted to talk about here is this might not be big enough for you. So I might want to make a bigger layout, that way I can have more space for my level. I'm going to click layout, and then over here on the properties bar, I see here's the size. I can go ahead and just change these numbers. So right now it's 1708. I'm going to go ahead and change it to 4000 by 2000. And of course I can always come back and change that later. Control and using the mouse wheel to scroll out, I can see that now I have a ton of room, and I can just continue to edit this level to my heart's content. There we go. And that is the prototype of our game. We'll go ahead and make some more improvements on it in the next video.